I did 650 gardens in the Eugene area as a volunteer job. And then I started doing food forests all over Oregon and California.
Yeah.
And then I was led to come to India to study sustainable farming, because Indians have a 10,000-year history of sustainable farming. And when I got here, I found that India is in the process of abandoning a lot of that.
Right.
And I was very disappointed. And I was learning about the severe water problems and how the farmers have to do bore wells every 2 years, new bore wells, because the water's going further and further down. So I remember I went to Kerala because Kerala is filled with these magnificent food forests. And then I saw 2 and 3 on every street, sellers of chemicals. And I realized that they're giving away their sustainable history and replacing with chemicals. And then I started hearing about the water going further and further down. People having to do new bore wells every 2 years. And I went, wow, well, I know what to do about that. You do food forests. And then, all the monocropping everywhere also, and the lack of trees is also contributing to the lack of water. So I kind of went, I know how to do that. And all these farmers were saying, well, show us, show us. And so I wanted to do a food forest, and in this case I've chosen to do a dryland food forest, meaning it will never be watered, it will never be irrigated. And I wanted to show that that was possible to do that, to do it with trees that will replenish the groundwater, and also to make at least 2 lakhs per acre.
In terms of revenue.
In terms of revenue, because then the farmers will do it. They're not going to do it just to be good. I mean, why should they? They should get what they need to live. And this method also is showing them how to, in the alleys of the trees, to grow the food that they need to eat. So we're not recommending that they turn their whole acreage into stuff that they sell. We want them to grow what they need and make a living doing it and sell enough to make 2 lakhs an acre. So it's an ambitious project, and the particular place I've chosen is one of the most challenging in India. It only gets 300 milliliters of water a year, where the rest of the Hyderabad area gets 650 milliliters of water a year. And here, where I am right now, they get 3,000 milliliters of water a year. So it's a very challenging place to do a dryland farm.
Right.
But with these techniques, which are mainly traditional Indian techniques, I call them swales, they call them contour trenches here in India. And and then we plant deep-rooted, mainly leguminous crops, and that way hold whatever water that we get. And what a lot of people don't know is that the plants all share, and that's what we see in a forest. In a forest, you don't see a baby tree and wonder, geez, nobody's watering that. You see the baby tree and you go, wow, this is part of the forest, and the forest is taking care of it. So the way the forest takes care of it is it sends mycorrhizals, which are a type of mushroom, and then all the bacteria. The mycorrhizals can share the water. The mycorrhizals can share the nutrients, so that all of these things in the food forest are all getting fed by each other. So it's a magnificent system.
Right.
And I am honored to be able to demonstrate it. And that is up in Hyderabad. And we do have a place where people can come and study with us. And one of the things that I am blessed with, because I'm from a 10-generation farming background, is how to look at a plant and how to see what it needs. And that is what we say you can't read about it. I mean, you can read about all the things that you need to see, but you can't read about how to feel that plant. And that's what's lacking in a lot of farmers these days. They've been trained by the corporations or trained by somebody else, so they don't learn to listen to the plant. And so that's what we really feel is the major thing that we can contribute, is how to listen to the plant we can actually ask that plant if it's getting what it needs and what it needs more. Victory Gardens for All, FOR, all at Gmail. And we do have a website. It's called handsonpermaculture1.org. And there's a phone number, but that doesn't work that well for me. So the email is the best. And yeah, so people can come to me. I also have said I'd love to go to various farms and show people. So, you know, if somebody wants to set up a group that we do for a week or 2 days or something, we can do that. And yeah, so in permaculture, very few people are talking about how to connect the money to the work. And I feel very strongly that we're not going to get people interested in permaculture until we can make some money doing it.
Right.
And I'm sorry that our culture's in that state, but that's the state it's in. And well, I know more about dryland, but in permaculture, the answers are pretty much the same. You do deep-rooted legumes you want in the areas where you get a lot of rainfall to be able to pull the water off and to retain it, but pull too much water off. But still, there's amazing overlaps in what you do. And the different plants, I'm really excited about the different areas and the different plants that would be used. So, like I said, I'm most expert on the dryland ones, but I'm really interested in everything. So I feel like I could be of service in those other areas, and but sooner or later, the dryland will take up all my time. So because that 60% of India is growing dryland, and I don't know. And it's mainly poor people because they can't make more than 20 or 30,000 rupees per dryland acre the way they're doing it. So so that is where I can be the most effective, is helping those farmers. On the other hand, the farmers are the most conservative. So until they see what my farm is doing, they're not very likely to take it on.
Right.
So
yeah. Nice. Thank you.
So thank you.